Okay, so what I've done is I've fooled the calibration basically on the sixth point, I think it is, the one that's all the way to the right of the screen. I purposely calibrated a little bit more to the right, so that seems to have helped at least the accuracy of the button presses to a degree. It's not perfect still, especially the 10-meter button is off a little bit, but I think that at least it might be a start in the right direction. So right now we're listening. I'll try and cycle through at least most of the buttons. Sometimes you'll see me bounce around a little bit. That's just to show you that it's actually picking up the touches. So 80, 40 on the left side, 20, 15. Now, of course, I've got to actually tune the VFO for it to actually change, which be interesting to see if we can change that in software, firmware. Here's 28. See, it's off just a hair still. There's 15 to the right of the button. There's 10 to the right of the button. 15 again. 10 on the left. See, it's still a little bit off. 15 on the left. 40 on the right. 20 on the right. 80 on the right. 15 on the left. 20 on the left. 40 on the left. 80 on the left. Let's turn this down a little bit more. Decoder, left, right. Code reset, left, right. Sometimes you do have to do a fairly firm press. Audible, the audible filter, sometimes that doesn't do too great. And it does take 2 clicks sometimes to get off of it. But left, right. I'm not going to do CPO because for whatever reason it will not toggle back off. AGC, well, that's something that I have no clue yet what would cause this. You saw I just finished clicking the audio button for the audio spectrum display, and I went to touch the AGC and the audio filter or audio spectrum pops back up. I've noticed that several times. I don't know yet. That all depends on whether it's actually just a bad data from the screen or if it's something in the software firmware that's not recognizing it. It'd be interesting to see if it was something in the firmware. I kind of think that maybe that's a stretch, but anything's possible. I am not good enough when it comes to programming to tackle that part of it yet. Anyway, let's go back. AGC, right, left. Now I'm not getting exactly at the edge, but you can see the AGC is actually pretty good. Back to the 10, 15. Oh, there was the 15 instead of 10. Where it's off a little bit. 15 left, 10, 15 right. These buttons finally are usable, or at least this button. I am using something that's fairly small tip, and it's a stylus for a Pixel book. But I think any kind of stylus would be fine here. This just is easier for me to hold. Like I said, it does take a little bit of a firm press sometimes, so I'm having to hold the radio as well. But it does seem to at least get a good read on these. Let's see. B should work now. Yep. A. Let's see. S meter, since I don't have the keep alive, the real-time clock, does it change filter? Should work. Of course, there we go. Sorry about all the noise. LUQ repeater. No, it's not 9 o'clock yet, so it's not going to tell me it's 9. Let's see, words per minute. That one's off a little bit still as well. But like I said, most of them have gotten better, extremely better, at least for me. I want to get, I think it was Joe, to verify that this kind of works for him before I really do a whole lot. Actually, I'm not sure if I'll release this video until I can get him to try it or not. We'll see. But there, it does seem to be a little bit better. Now, one thing on my radio, the S meter is still not working. I think there is something with the hardware AGC circuit. Either I don't have the, let's see if you can see this, either where's the variable resistor at? Either this resistor, this potentiometer is set incorrectly, or my AGC circuit's not working at all. The hardware AGC seems to do nothing whatsoever with a loud signal, and as you can see, this also feeds the analog pin of the Teensy to calculate the level of signal. I have not. I did measure the voltage at test point 6. And it didn't seem to change a whole lot, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time on that. I did put a serial print line in the code that gave me the ADC count, and it did seem to change, but not drastically. I was getting, most a couple hundred count change. So I'm not sure if there's still some issues there with the code or if it's all hardware or what. Anyway, just an update. Like I said, I will post this at some point. I just might get Joe to verify that this does help. Anyway, 73s everyone. This is KV4TE.